So when I was in high school, we had school dances like homecoming and prom, and everyone would ask girls out trying to get dates to the dance. But there was this one kid who never had to worry about getting a date to the dance. Always had a date to the dance, Lance. You see, Lance was rolling in dates. Every time a school dance was coming up, all the girls in school would tell guys no because they were hoping Lance would take them to the dance. I asked so many girls to the dance in the craziest ways, and they still said no, hoping for a chance to the dance with Lance. I hired an airplane advertisement company to fly a banner asking a girl out, and she said no. I had the chorus class sing to a girl in class, and she still said no. And I even had the lunch lady spell it with french fries for a girl, and she said no. No one had a chance against Lance. Me and all the other guys were pissed. We would go to the dance without dates, and all the girls took one glance at Lance, and they were in a trance. And the dance was themed like France. I knew I had to stop this nonsense, so I put ants in Lance's pants, but it just enhanced his dance. So then, I pantsed Lance while he danced. Turns out he had a huge dong. He began to prance with it dragging behind him, and then Lance was expelled after that for refusing to pull up his pants. But I heard Lance has a degree in finance, and he loves plants. See, I was in my late 20s, and I was on a date with this really hot girl. I mean, she was like a supermodel, and the date was perfect. The movie was great, the dinner was great, everything was going great. And then we were getting in my car because we were going to go back to my place because I knew I was going to get some. And then she turned on the radio, and this song came on, and I was rocking the fuck out. I put my hands up like the song said, and I was just dancing. I was having a good time. I felt like the ceiling couldn't hold me, or at least the roof of the car couldn't. But see, the problem was I was having too good of a time because we took a turn going 60 miles an hour, and she flew straight out the side window and got impaled by a tree. I just had to stare at her body while that song played in the back. So when I was in high school, I was dating this girl named Lisa Lugo. She was gorgeous. I was in love with her. She was my soulmate. She loved building Legos, and I would go over to her house all the time to build Legos with her. So for her birthday, I went out and bought her a really cool Lego set, and I showed up to class to give it to her. Then the teacher announced to the class that there was a new student, and his name was Lester Lego, the son of the founder of Legos. He saw my girlfriend had balloons, and he went up to her and pulled out a bouquet of Lego flowers. Right then and there, they started making out. I fell to my knees crying, holding out the Lego set I'd bought her. She laughed at me, and her and Lester jumped into a Lego helicopter and took off into the Lego sunset. I heard they got married, and she only had to change one letter in her last name. So I was a sophomore in high school, and the homecoming dance was coming up, and I wanted to go with Samantha Knob Gobbler, because word around the school was if you went on a date with her, she'd gobble your knob like corn on the cob. So I asked her out before anyone else, and she said yes. I was so excited. I was about to get my knob gobbled at homecoming. So I got myself a tuxedo, and I looked damn good. I looked like a young James Bond. I was ready. The only weird thing was my mom drove us to the dance, and she smokes with the windows rolled up, but I didn't care. I only had one thing on my mind, getting my knob gobbled. So she dropped us off at the dance, and I started boogie-woogieing. And there was a snack bar, and the local gas station was catering sushi. My school didn't have a big budget. So I ate a few pieces of the sushi, and I went back out on the dance floor to break it down. Then the song Witch Doctor came on, you know, the song that goes ooh-ee, you know, ooh-ah-ah. Don't forget the ting-tang, walla walla, end it with a bing-bang, you know that song? And that song was my shit. So when I went to twerk, I did shit. My pants. It came out of nowhere. And then right then, Samantha Knob Gobbler grabs me by my hand and says, "Hey, you want to ditch this dance and go get your knob gobbled?" So I said, "No, I'm actually gay, sorry," because I didn't want her to know I had a massive shit in my pants. She was so offended because nobody has ever turned down getting their knob gobbled by Samantha Knob Gobbler. So she ran away and drove off with Billy Bowling Hands. This was before he drowned. I'm sure his balls were like bowling balls. So when I was in high school, I was on the swim team, the girls' swim team. See, I wasn't fast enough to be on the boys' team, so I went up against the girls, and I would still come in 4th place. But I swam slow for other reasons. Anyway, one day I was in a race, and I actually wanted to win this one. I swam so fast, my swim trunks came off, and I couldn't find them. Then all the girls got out of the pool, and the coach said, "Guy, come on out." And I said, "No." And he said, "Guy, get your ass out of the pool. It's time for the boys to swim." But I didn't want to get out. I didn't want the girls' swim team to see my small, shriveled up package. So I was trying to think of a way to distract everybody. And that's when I saw Pulls the Fire Alarm Paul. He was a kid that would pull the fire alarm if you dared him to. So I said, "Hey Paul, can you pull the fire alarm?" And he said, "Yep." So Paul pulled the fire alarm, and everyone started running outside. So I said, "Now's my chance." But then, 2 firefighters came, and they pulled me out of the pool and took me outside with everyone else. And the whole school saw my little shriveled up shrimp. It was the most embarrassing day of my life. So I was a senior in high school, and I was a bit of a ladies' man. I had made out with at least 3 of the girls from the chess club. Not a lot of people were going after those girls, so I volunteered. But then, one day, I decided to go after a bigger prize. Katie Knockers with the big ham hockers. She was the hottest, bustiest girl in school, you know, because of her big knockers, aka ham hockers. It was Valentine's Day, and they had this candygram that you could send to a girl you liked, where some of the kids from the Glee Club would sing to him and hand him a note saying you liked him and shit. So I paid the $15, and I said, send this to Katie Knockers with the big ham hockers. But one of the kids in the Glee Club, dyslexic Dylan, wrote the wrong name down, and the candygram was given to Deborah Dimpleass, one of the fattest, ugliest, stinkiest, resting bitch-faced girls in school. They gave her the candygram and said, this is from Brooklyn guy, and man was I so embarrassed. But Deborah loved it, I think. She wouldn't leave me alone. She came over to my house, and I tried hiding from her, but my mom answered the door, and she thought she was pregnant, and I told her, no, Mom, she's just fat. But my mom made me marry her anyway. I always wondered what would have happened if I had given the candygram to Katie Knockers. I heard she's a supermodel now.